Right, so look, I'm not exactly what you'd call religious, yeah? Never really bought into all that stuff. But my family? Proper traditional. And every year, round about the time the leaves start turning and everyone's prepping for the autumn cleansing festival, things get serious. It's 10 days, see? No meat, no fish, not even onions or garlic allowed in the house. It's supposed to be about purifying yourself before the main gathering. For me, it was just a massive pain in the backside. This year, it hit particularly hard. We just started the 10 days, and bam, I got this absolutely savage craving for fried chicken. The greasy, crispy, absolutely not allowed stuff. It was driving me mental. I knew I couldn't bring it home. No way. Mom would skin me alive. And honestly, having the smell in the house with the family altar set up just felt wrong, even to me. So, I hatched a plan. Rang up my mates, Dave and Mike. Figured we'd nip out, grab a load of chicken, and just pig out somewhere quiet. Called Dave first. "Mate," I said, "chicken run like Navquar now." He just sighed down the phone. "Ethan, are you serious? It's the cleansing. Mom would go spare, we can't." Mike was the same. "Nah, sorry mate. Rules are rules. Can't break tradition, not this week. Just hold out, it's only 10 days. 10 days felt like an eternity. My stomach was rumbling, practically chanting for chicken. Fine, I thought. Be like that. I'll go myself. I knew just the spot. About 3 miles out of town, there's this old, deserted stretch of tarmac they call Old Creek Road. Nobody really uses it anymore. Just winds through some thick woods. Perfect place to pull over, stuff my face, and dispose of the evidence. So I drove down to Cluckingham Palace. Dodgy fried chicken joint, you know the type. Grabbed a massive bucket, hopped back in the car, and headed for Old Creek Road. Found a spot, bit past this massive ancient-looking oak tree that had roots sticking out everywhere. Pulled over, chucked on some tunes, and started demolishing this chicken. Oh, it was glorious. Grease running down my chin, absolutely scoffing it. Finished up, felt like I was gonna burst. Gathered all the bones, the greasy wrappers, everything, stuffed it into the paper bag. Opened the car door, planning to just toss it into the bushes by the road. Had a swig of water, rinsed my hands best I could, then just chucked the bag, aiming for the undergrowth near the big oak. "See you later, evidence," I mumbled, feeling pretty pleased with myself. I started to pull the door shut, and thump. Something hit the side of the car near my feet. I looked down. It was the bag, the same bag of chicken bones I'd just thrown. Okay, bit weird. Wind, maybe? Didn't feel windy, though. I looked around. The road was empty, woods quiet. Nobody there. Had someone been hiding, seen me, and chucked it back? Creepy thought, but plausible, I guess. A wave of annoyance washed over me. Right. "You want to play?" I picked the bag up again, proper glared at the spot I'd thrown it, and lobbed. It again, harder this time, really making sure it went deep into the bushes. I even watched it land. Right. Stay there. Got back in the car, started to close the door. Thwack. Something hit the door panel, then slid down onto the ground by my feet. The bag. Again. Okay, now I was properly freaked. Heart started hammering against my ribs. There was no one out there. The bag couldn't just bounce back. Not like that. Twice. This felt wrong. Deeply, utterly wrong. A cold, nasty feeling started creeping up my spine. I was getting angry, but it was laced with pure terror. "All right," I yelled, my voice shaking a bit. "Who's there? Not funny. If you've got the guts, show yourself. Stop bloody throwing that back." I picked the bag up a third time. My hand was trembling. "Look," I shouted, holding it up. "I'm throwing it again! You want to throw it back? Come on, do it!" And I threw it. Put everything into it. Watched it sail through the air towards the oak tree. It disappeared into the shadows beneath the branches, and it didn't come back. Silence. A heavy, thick silence. I stood there, straining my ears, waiting. Nothing. A weird sense of relief started to wash over me. See? Just some wind, or something normal. My phone buzzed in my pocket, pulled it out, saw who was calling. As I looked down at the screen, a movement caught my eye. Standing by the edge of the woods, near the oak tree where the bag had landed, was a woman. But not a normal woman. She was tall, impossibly thin. Her clothes were rags and her hair was this wild, dark mess. And her eyes, even from here I could feel them on me. They were just empty, yet full of malice. I froze. Literally froze. My breath hitched in my throat. This wasn't just someone messing about. This was it. What people talked about in hushed whispers. A cold, bone-deep dread seized me. Instinct took over. I scrambled into the car, slamming the door shut and fumbling with the lock. Click. Locked. Safe. Or so I desperately hoped. I stared out the windscreen, watching her. She didn't move for a second, just stared back. Then slowly, a horrifying smile stretched across her face, and she began to laugh. It wasn't a human laugh. It was high-pitched, cackling, full of pure, gleeful nastiness. It echoed through the quiet woods and sliced through the air, making my skin crawl. Suddenly, thud. Something heavy landed on the roof of the car right above me. I nearly jumped out of my skin. Then another thud, and another. It sounded like things were being dropped hard. I risked a glance up through the windscreen, and my blood ran cold. Scattered across the glass were chicken bones, the bones from the bag. She'd torn the bag open and was throwing the leftovers onto my car. Her horrible laughter intensified. "You think you're safe in there?" She shrieked, her voice somehow carrying clearly through the glass and metal. "Thought you could just discard it? Get rid of things you don't want?" Panic set in. I had to get out of here. Fumbled for the ignition, shoved the key in, turned it. Nothing. The engine didn't even splutter. I tried again. Still nothing. What the... I looked down. The key wasn't in the ignition. Where had it gone? I frantically patted my pockets, looked around the floor of the car. Not there. Then I saw it. Lying on the tarmac just outside my door. The key. It must have slipped out when I scrambled in. My heart sank into my boots. I was trapped. Stuck in a locked car with a nightmare outside. And her laughing. God, the laughing was awful. "Looking for this?" she purred, suddenly right by the driver's side window. I flinched back. Her face was pressed against the glass, twisted in a snarl. "Going somewhere, little man. You called me, remember? Said come out. Here I am." She moved around the car, a wraith-like figure in the dimming light. I squeezed my eyes shut, hands over my ears, but I could still hear her cackling, sometimes right outside my window, sometimes seeming further away, swirling around the car. I could hear scrabbling noises, things hitting the car body. Every time I dared to open my eyes, she was there, leering at me through the glass. I was trapped, absolutely terrified. I saw headlights coming down the road in the distance. Hope surged. Someone was coming. I banged on the window, yelled, but my voice was muffled. As the car got closer, I reached for the door handle, ready to fling it open and beg for help. But it wouldn't budge. It was locked, all right, but it also felt stuck, jammed, as if someone was holding it from the outside. D with immense force. Another car passed, then another. Each time my doors were locked solid until the car had gone past. Then they'd feel normal again. She was keeping me here. Time blurred. The sun had gone down completely now. I was crying, proper sobbing, huddled in the driver's seat. This was it. I was going to die out here, mauled by whatever she was. I was a non-believer, yeah, but in that moment, with death staring me in the face, something broke. "Please," I whimpered, tears streaming down my face. "Please, someone, anyone. I messed up. I'm sorry. Just help me." I thought of the autumn cleansing, of my family's faith, something I'd always dismissed. Maybe they were right. Maybe there was something bigger. In my desperation, I closed my eyes and just focused on that thought, on the vague idea of something good, something protective. And then, through the sound of the wind and her occasional chilling cackle, I heard something else. Footsteps. Slow, steady footsteps coming down the road. I cautiously opened my eyes. Coming towards my car, walking with a solid, determined stride, was a man. He looked old, not frail, but ancient. He was wearing simple, rough clothes, and he carried a thick, gnarled wooden staff. As he got closer, I could make out his face. It was kind, lined with incredibly calm eyes, and as he walked, that cackling, terrifying woman, she just vanished. Poof, gone, like she'd never been there. The man walked right up to my car. He didn't hesitate, just reached for the driver's door handle, the one that had been jammed shut moments before, and pulled. It opened, smoothly, like there'd never been a problem. He looked at me, huddled there, tears and snot all over my face. His expression was gentle. "Rough night, son," he said, his voice a low, comforting rumble. I just stared at him, speechless. "What? Who?" "Doesn't matter," he said, giving me a small smile. "You're safe now. She won't bother you again." He gestured towards the ground. "Looks like you dropped this." Lying there was my car key, right where I'd seen it before. He helped me pick it up. I was still reeling. "But the woman, the doors, how did you—" He just chuckled softly. "Some things just don't like the light, you see. My old stick here, it shines a bit of light." He patted his staff. "Thank you," I stammered, standing outside the car now, still shaky. "Thank you so much. I don't know what would have happened." I looked down the road. "Where are you heading? Let me give you a lift." "It's the least I can do." He thought for a second. "All right," he said. "If you're going my way, just down the road a bit, to the old community chapel. That was where my family's autumn cleansing gathering was held. Bit of a coincidence, I thought." "Sure," I said. "Hop in." He got into the passenger seat. As soon as he did, the air inside the car changed. It felt lighter, clean. And there was this faint, beautiful scent, like nothing I'd ever smelled before. Sort of like clean earth and wildflowers, but richer, somehow divine. We drove in silence for a bit, the fear slowly draining away, replaced by this strange sense of peace. We reached the turnoff for the community chapel. It was lit up. You could hear distant sounds of people gathering. "Here's fine," he said. I pulled over. "You sure? I can take you right to the door." "No, this is perfect. I'll just walk from here." "And son." "Yeah? You might want to pop in yourself. They've got quite a display for the festival this year. Worth seeing." He smiled again, that same gentle, knowing smile. "And maybe, mind what you throw away next time, eh?" Before I could even respond properly, he opened the door and stepped out. I turned to watch him go, but he just wasn't there. 1 second he was beside the car, the next, gone, into the night. Like the woman, but totally different. Confused, but feeling an inexplicable pull, I parked the car and walked towards the chapel grounds, pushed open the door of the hall where the main display was set up. People were milling about, admiring the decorations. And then I saw it. On a raised platform, the centerpiece of the festival display. A statue representing the spirit of the cleansing. A figure they honored. And it was him. The same kind face, the same calm eyes, the same simple clothes, even the same thick, gnarled wooden staff in its hand. Exactly the man who had just saved me. Tears welled up in my eyes again, but these were different. Not of fear, but of pure, overwhelming awe. It hit me like a physical blow. The man who rescued me wasn't just a man. He was it. The very thing I'd dismissed my whole life. Did my family's faith somehow call to him? Did my desperate plea reach something real? I didn't have answers. and I didn't know who I could tell who would ever believe me. But I believed. Oh, I believed. From that day on, I followed the cleansing rules like gospel. And every year, when the leaves start to turn, I think of that terrifying night on Old Creek Road and the quiet man with the staff who looked just like the statue, and I make damn sure I don't break tradition. Ever.